Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our family and friends updates. While spring is officially here, I must admit it hasn't quite lived up to its warm and sunny days. It has been a bit nippy out there. Thank you for joining us this afternoon and hope that you get a chance to enjoy the sunshine in the coming days. Better sunny days are ahead. My name is Petronila Ndebele, and I'm the Director of Strategic Communications and Stakeholder Relations, and will be facilitating today's program. And before we begin, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge that today is Red Dress Day. And therefore, we are going to start with a message from Mita Hens, Chair of Indigenous Talking Circle, who offers the land acknowledgement and reflects on the significance of Red Dress Day. I will now ask the team to play the message. Thank you.
I'm acknowledging the territory that I'm on. I'm on this call from Birchmount Green, which is Anishinaabe Mohawk territory. This used to be Mohawk cornfields where I am right now. And in doing the land acknowledgement, I want to say not only acknowledge whose territory we are on in the moment, but also I want to acknowledge that this place has a history. In 2014, in the month of May, the RCMP released a list of what they determined to be missing and murdered Indigenous women. And there was 1,000 names on that list. And some of those women went missing from the territory that I'm currently on. And in response to that, there was a Métis artist, Jamie Black, who developed the Red Dress Project. And today's really important because it was on May 5th that she designated that the Red Dress Project Day. And she did an art installation where she took red dresses and hung them in empty spaces where Indigenous women used to be and should have been, as a reminder that that presence is very much with us and continues into our daily lives. So wherever you are today, um, if you see red dresses, if you wear red dresses, if you hang red dresses in spaces where you think that they belong, um, be mindful that we are including those histories and making them a present part of our daily lives.
Thank you, Mita, for that reflection and for reminding us that the RCMP list of 1,000 represents only those officially recorded, and thousands more never made it to their data sheet. Every act remembrance matters, and we continue to work with respect, intention, and a deep commitment to learning. This month is also Community Living Month, a time to recognize progress we have made and a reminder of the impact we have made and that can be made in the lives of people with intellectual disabilities and their families when the community comes together. We do have an engaging agenda for you today. We are going to have an update from our Community Participation and Supports Respect team. We are also going to have an update on Employment Services update. We are also going to have our Community Unplugged with Brad Sanders, and who's going to be joined by our colleague Tom and one of the dads from the Dad Support Group. A quick housekeeping notes before we begin. We ask that you use the chat function, make a comment or ask a question. And me now will be changing the slides. So if you're presenting today, please feel free to ask when to change the slides. And Atam on our team will be addressing any technical issues. So if you're facing any technical issues, please feel free to connect with him, and Atam has put his details in the chat. And without any further ado, it is now time for our first update. And I would like to call upon Brittany Bryan, fundraising coordinator, to give us an update for an upcoming event leading Leaders in Philanthropy, which is taking place this week. Brittany, may I kindly pass it on to you now for this exciting update. Over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Patty, and hello to everyone online today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share about our upcoming Leaders in Philanthropy. So right now, I'm actually going to encourage you, if you have not already booked the time, May 7th from 5 to 9, we will be hosting our annual Leaders in Philanthropy event, which is our donor and volunteer recognition and celebration event. And you'll see the details right here on the screen. We'll be located at the Parkview Manor, which is right on, if you know the area, Don Mills and Eglinton, at the Parkview Manor, 55 Barbara Green Road, North York. And for those that are interested, it is business casual. So please come ready to enjoy the night, ready to mingle. If you go to the next slide, I'll share a little bit more of what you can expect. So it's often been considered one of my favorite quotes, a much needed family reunion. This is a time where all of us, donors, volunteers, staff, just those that have been connected throughout the years and are recently connected, can come together and really just celebrate what inclusion looks like in real life, inclusion in action, and our champions of inclusion. So we'll be able to come together. We'll be able to enjoy a live band that will be playing throughout the night. We'll be able to enjoy a beautiful and entertaining photo booth. If you can see the picture right at the bottom, that's Brad, our Brad, living his best life at the photo booth. And I encourage you to enjoy it as well. There also will be a professional photographer, and amazing food. We have elevated our menu this year. And again, it'll touch on a wide variety of dietary restrictions and needs. And it'll just be a great time for us to come together, unwind a little bit, and celebrate those that have continued to champion for inclusion in our community, in our homes, in our families. And it's just going to be an amazing night for us just to come together with a common goal, a common cause. So again, if you are interested in joining us, please feel free to register. I will be adding the registration link in the chat soon. But if you go to the next slide, you can also reach out to myself, Brittany. I'm the fundraising coordinator here at CLTO, and that's my number. And then I also included Tom, who will be supporting as well on the volunteer side. So if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. We are here today, tomorrow, as well as taking calls on the day of. So if you have any questions, any concerns, we are available. But we hope to see you there. Again, this is going to be an amazing time. We have about 20 people who are being honored this event. And if you know any of your friends who would like to join us as well, let us know. We'd love to have you all there. And with that, I will pass it back over to Patty. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittany, and congratulations to the 20 people who are going to be honored. And as you said, it's a much needed family reunion. And thank you for pointing out that that was Brad. I couldn't recognize him. Yeah, really, we are looking forward to that event. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Moving on, I would like to welcome Melanie Hooker, Program Manager, CPS, and Natalie Adson, Recreation Therapist, for an update on our Community Participation Supports and Respite Program. Melanie, please take it away with Natalie. Over to you.
Thanks, Patty. Next slide, please, Manal. So as many people may or may not know, our Creative Village studio was relocated in official date was July of 2024, and we moved into the Community Junction space at 2934 Dundas Street West. So from there, we decided to set up a variety of satellite locations throughout the GTA in 2024 and 2025. So as a result of our expanding work and our networking, we were fortunate enough to get connected by Petty to a sponsor that had worked with us in the past. So we are currently going to be partnering with them called March 15 on Tuesday, May the 13th for an art exhibit. It's really exciting for the artists. It's the first time they've been kind of out and about reconnecting with people in their community, as well as an opportunity to showcase their wonderful work. So we're really excited to have 7 artists. It's from 4. So if you want to join us, you can come anytime from 4:30 to 6. So that would be specifically for the artists and the families. That will be held, as indicated, at the March 15 office, 25 Adelaide Street, East End Suite 1300. But we also have a copy of this invite on the staff email, and I think it's also been sent out broadly. So please, we invite everyone that's interested to please make a point of coming. And if you could RSVP in the next few days, that would be wonderful. So we're very excited about that. And I'm very fortunate and very pleased to introduce Natalie Addison, who is our recreational therapist. And she has been with us just over a year now, and she is going to showcase and share some of the wonderful work that the recreation therapists, herself and Jessica Weiner, have been working on. I'll pass it to you, Natalie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. As Melanie said, I am one of the 2 recreation therapists here at Community Living Toronto, alongside my colleague, Jessica Weiner. So if we've met before, it's nice to see you again. And if we haven't met, it's nice to meet you. I'm really excited to be here today to tell you all a little bit about what we've been up to in recreation therapy and where you can find us within Community Living Toronto. So for anybody who is unfamiliar with recreation therapy is the holistic use of recreation and leisure as a means of supporting individuals in enhancing and growing their physical, cognitive, social, and emotional skills and well-being. So these are just a few of the areas highlighted that we can target with recreation therapy. We can support individuals in growing their independence, learning new social skills, which can be crucial for building meaningful relationships and friendships, supporting individuals in utilizing their community, being involved in their community and utilizing those community resources, and working to enhance the overall mental and physical well-being for all the individuals we support. Jessica and myself in many different areas across Community Living Toronto. So I'm going to go through and highlight some of the areas you can find us and some of the work that we're doing, starting with our community participation supports. So we collaborate with all 5 of our CPS locations to support in delivering, planning, and facilitating strong and inclusive programming. So some of the ways that we do this is we can support the CPS locations with generating program ideas and supporting with program development as well as facilitation. And this is often done through the development of detailed program plans, which can outline the goals and objectives for a program and how participants of that program can work towards those goals. We can also support with guidance and recommendations on program adaptations to ensure that programs are inclusive for everybody who's attending. And we can also work with individuals one-to-one who may benefit from a little extra one-to-one support to increase their engagement in programs, to adapt programs to make sure that everybody can be involved, or to implement new program ideas to meet the needs of those attending. Programs. So if anybody has had any involvement or a family member who's been involved with our virtual programs in the last year, chances are we've probably connected at some point. Within my role, I support with our virtual programs. So this includes building our virtual program schedule, communications with families and participants, as well as facilitation of our weekly virtual programs. So the rec therapy team, we facilitate a few of the virtual programs each week that are both social-based and learning-based programs. So I'll highlight a couple for everybody. Each Tuesday, we run our friendship circle. This social-based group, which serves as a time for our participants to get together, to share what's been going on in their life, to share exciting updates, things they want to talk about, and to really build those social connections with others who attend our virtual programs. I also run our Around the World program. This is a learning-based program where each week participants get to pick a new city or country that they would like to learn about. We look into that country or city, and we learn about popular sports, music, tradition, food, all things related to that place. And I also facilitate our Curiosity Chronicles program. And this is another learning-based program where each week we take a deep dive into a new topic that's of interest to our group. And these topics can range from anything from how the human body works to ocean animals and reptiles. So learning based on topics that are of interest to our participants. So support within supported living. So individuals who are in supported living residences can also access recreation therapy services. So there's a few ways that we can offer our supports to these individuals. So again, we can come in and provide suggestions or recommendations for individuals within our group living settings. We can support with the development and planning of activities using activity schedules. We can also provide recommendations for engagement strategies. So how we can, again, adapt programs and build programs within supported living to really meet the needs of the individuals who are within those homes. And we can also provide some staff training. So if we have staff members within a supported living home who are interested in learning more about program planning and program facilitation, we can come in and work with the staff team to make sure that they can feel confident in facilitating great programs for their individuals they're supporting. So the interdisciplinary team. So Jessica is the recreation therapist who currently is sitting on our interdisciplinary team. And she supports individuals who have received a referral for additional one-to-one services. So there's many ways that she can work with those individuals, but I'll highlight a few. Discovering and developing leisure interests. So for some individuals, they may be interested in participating in recreation and leisure activities, but maybe they're not sure where to start. So she can work with individuals to trial activities and find activities that would be meaningful and enjoyable for them. Looking at using recreation as a means of building healthy coping skills, growing life skills, learning new skills through recreation and leisure. Another big one is connecting to community resources. There may be individuals who would like to be involved in their community, or maybe they've been participating in activities in the past, but there's since been a barrier which has stopped them. And through the interdisciplinary team with recreation therapy, Jessica works with many clients to look at how we can get people engaged in their community and overcome any barriers that may be stopping them from doing so. And finally, building social skills and getting involved with programs that will offer meaningful social connections and relationships. Fee-for-service. So you can also find us within fee-for-service programming. And within fee-for-service programming, we're offering goal-based group programs in which learning outcomes are worked towards and met through fun, interactive games and activities. So we're doing it all with recreation. And all these programs are designed to support individuals in working towards their personal goals while also building social connections with others. So I'll highlight a couple of our fee-for-service programs. So our social skills program. So this was a program that was run and was designed to support individuals in growing their skills, all related to social connections, building friendships, and social skills. So this could cover topics, we covered topics, everything from how to introduce yourself to somebody that you just met, all the way through to how to resolve a conflict with a friend if you're feeling angry at them. So looking at all things social skills and friendship building. I'll also highlight our Mindful Meals program. So our Mindful Meals program is a cooking program where participants pick and create a new meal each week. And while it's a great opportunity for participants to learn new cooking skills, try new recipes, expand their taste palettes, it's also an excellent opportunity for participants. We offer information about Canada's food guide, how to get different nutrients into your meals, the different food groups, and what goes into creating a healthy and nutritious meal. The Mix and More. So I'm sure many people here are very familiar with our longstanding Mix event that's held at the Fairfax location, a super popular event that has run for many years. So we've been working to expand the Mix events to make them more accessible to individuals all across the city. So not only are we expanding the location of the mix, we're also looking to expand and have been working to expand the different types of mixes. So this can be dances, bingo halls, karaoke, holiday themed events, socials, game show nights, and much more. So we've now been increasing the number of mixes that are offered. So we now have 2 mix events each month and at different locations, with the goal of reaching more people and getting more people involved with our mix events. And finally, what's upcoming? So the Family Engagement Focus Group is going to be held on May 14th, so coming up next week. We're also really excited about our upcoming trip to the Serengeti Bush Camp at the Toronto Zoo. So this is going to be happening on May 22nd, and it's going to be a really amazing adventure to the zoo, where we'll be spending the day at the zoo before heading to our camping site for an overnight adventure. We'll have a bonfire, evening games, dinner at the zoo, breakfast at the zoo, and we think it's going to be a really exciting experience. So if you know somebody who may be interested, is an animal lover, and would like to join us at the zoo, we still have a couple of spots available, and we'd love to have them come along. Our Baycrest art exhibit. So we are working with Baycrest at the moment to create an art exhibit to display some of the artwork of the individuals we support. So we hope to be able to provide you with more information, dates and times in the next coming weeks. But yeah, looking to showcase the art of some of our amazing artists. So if you have any questions at all about anything rec therapy, what we've been up to, if you would like more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to Jessica. We would be more than happy to provide you more information and chat further about all things recreation therapy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melanie and Natalie, for providing those updates, as well as highlighting opportunities for people to participate. And if you need more information, the CPS website details have also been put in the chat. Hope many of us will be able to attend the May 13th art exhibit, where we are going to showcase the work of some of our 7 artists. Thank you so much for doing that. For now, we move on with our program. For our next update, I'm going to invite Nick, our program manager, and Sandra, program supervisor for employment services, who are going to share some important updates about the program. Nick and Sandra, please take it away.
Excellent. Thank you, Patty. And good afternoon, everybody. As you all know, anything that has to do with employment with Community Living Toronto, I love speaking about it. I've been doing it for decades. Presently, the supervisor is Sandra, and we're under the senior leadership of Angela Bradley. And we have 5 employment support specialists for the team. In the past, employment services have had various programs. We've had supported training, job placement, integrated employment. And in 2024, Community Living Toronto was partnered up with as a service system manager under WCG. It's the Employment Ontario Integrated Employment Service transformation from Ministry MCCSS to the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Trades and Skills Development. Since then, we have continued to move forward with the ministry in delivering services to provide employment for people with all disabilities. Employment services empowers individuals and persons with disabilities to focus on their abilities, their skills, and their choices that are available to them. We have trained and knowledgeable staff and resources to guide them throughout their employment journey. The employment services team at Community Living Toronto, cumulatively and combined, has over 175 years of experience doing employment services. As we all know, employment services and the success of employment in the community provides independence, personal growth, and professional advancement and personal earnings for people with disabilities. Next slide. So what does support with employment look like? Well, when we meet with an individual, we provide an intake. We provide education of our services. We have a guided intake and assessment. We put together an employment plan. And when we meet with the job seekers, either as independents or with a support team or with a family, we discuss employment and support choices. We provide supports for the application and submission of the application for Employment Ontario. This begins the journey for us to help them seek and find a job based on their choices, where they live, where they want, what they want to do, and what job they're looking for. We also work with in the job development. We connect with past and new employers to discuss hiring of persons with disabilities. We discuss the advantages to corporate leads and HR departments on hiring people with disabilities and the many benefits an organization can have in hiring people with disabilities. We also work with them in creating a resume or building on their resume and looking at job offers, what's available, what they're looking to do, and what other jobs we can look for them. Once they're on the job, we also provide job coaching, provide one-to-one job coaching to the job seeker for skill development, mentorship, and support. We also seek the job seeker and in discussing any job changes or job advancements that they're looking for. And following at the end, we also do job retention. So it's not that we place a person in the job and we walk away. There is job retention. We follow up with the employer, we follow up with the individual, and we support them in their job, retaining or any new tasks that are required for them on the job. We maintain regular contact with the employees and the employer on site and visits that are required. Next slide. A lot of the community engagement that we do in helping individuals with disabilities and working with employers and outreach within the community is in hosting and participating in local community events like job fairs, service provider events, and conferences. We also work with My Job Match, which is a great opportunity for individuals with disabilities to contact any service providers or Community Living Toronto. And they can also do their independent job seeking through My Job Match. We collaborate with partnerships within the community and also work with the Employment Ontario offices, ODSP offices, Ready, Willing, and Able, and also ODIN. In reference to community outreach, we also work with the Rotary clubs, businesses, associations, and provincial networks, also like the local BAAs within every community. We also work with high school and colleges. So when students are transitioning from school or from either be it high school or be it colleges, we work with the students and when they're graduating or transitioning in reference to what they're looking to do and what profession they're looking to get into. And also the social media, with our marketing and expertise in the social media, we help individuals navigate any opportunities and job seekers to be successful in the job market. We also connect them and discuss with them on connecting like with LinkedIn, for example. Next slide. If anybody wants to contact us for any further information in reference to employment or referring somebody, please connect us with at the employment services at cltoronto.ca. That's the general number. You can connect with myself, the supervisor, or any one of the staff, and we could meet with you in person at any location you're looking for. We're presently at all locations within Community Living Toronto, Spadina, 1122 Finch, the West Mall, and also 50 Fairfax. So if it's more convenient for us to meet at any one of the locations for us to have a conversation about an intake, about a referral, we're always available and we can meet within 24 hours of a phone call. Thank you. If you have any further questions, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Nick and team, for providing updates and supports in the employment journey and how we are opening pathways to employment and independence. If you have any questions about the employment services, we encourage you to reach out to the team, and the email details are also in the chat. Thank you so much for taking the time to share with us the updates on the program. And speaking of the importance of support and community around us, it is my pleasure to introduce our guests for Community Unplugged session who are involved in our Debt Supporting Debts Group program. I now welcome Tom from our Community Engagement program, as well as Bruce from the program Debt Supporting Debts Group. And Brad, may you kindly please take it away, and we're looking forward to the discussion. Over to you.
Will do. Thanks, Petronella. So much going on. It was great to hear all the stuff we've got going on with this Wednesday with Leaders in Philanthropy. It's a great event. So I saw that Brittany put her details and coordinates in the chat. If you can go, please sign up and register. We've got, a number of really inspiring volunteers. But as she mentioned, we've also got some really good food. So it's a time to get out and socialize. CPS, we've gone through so much change in our community participation supports over the years. It's good to hear how things are progressing. And we're really looking forward to that focus group next week as well. And employment, another area that's undergone a ton of change. So Nick and Sandra and the whole team, great job getting things launched. In short, we want to help people find jobs. And we're working with within a new system to try and make that easier and more streamlined. So really look forward to that. Finally, a bit of a preview that's coming after the community chats conversation is you'll see some people with some backdrops, some virtual backgrounds around We All Belong. So stick around to learn more about that. We're really excited about what what we're gonna be engaged in over the next month of May. So stay tuned. This conversation is something I'm really excited about. I've been looking forward to for a while. And I'm really pleased that both Tom and Bruce have agreed to take time out of busy schedules to spend a few minutes talking about our Dads Helping Dads group. For a number of years, we've had a moms group that goes up to Shadow Lake and does a number of things. And this introducing the dad support group and a way for dads to connect is really something that Tom has spearheaded with our team over the years. And we'd really like to see the group grow. And this is a great opportunity to learn more about it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tom and Bruce to ask them to introduce themselves a little bit, and we'll go from there. So Tom, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so my name's Tom Gaspar. I'm a community engagement coordinator with Community Living Toronto. I started with our organization in 2014, but prior to that, I worked with Community Living Windsor. So in terms of developmental services, I've been working in our sector since 2007.
Excellent. Bruce, what's your story?
Well, I'm a dad. I have a son on the spectrum, and my involvement with community living sort of started at a community living information meeting and grew into an association with Lights, which has been a wonderful organization for our family and has accomplished kind of setting up my son in a pretty good life. So we're really excited about that. And so things like the Dads group, if we can share success stories, I think that, a lot of guys need help. And I think that having a story, which I think is a huge success story, it helps people realize the light may be pretty small and it's pretty far off, but it's not the train coming. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
That's great. That's great. So, and for the purposes of this, I don't talk about this too much, but my own son has a disability related to learning. So he was diagnosed with a learning processing disorder at a young age, although, it took some time to figure that out. And he, it's really related to reading and writing and decoding, does really well on math. But, our conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago when we were preparing for this, really, I thought there was a lot of we could relate to some of the issues that dads face when they're raising kids and not knowing necessarily what their space is. Now, Tom, you also have a son that on the autism spectrum. Do you want to talk about your son?
Yeah, absolutely. And I should have mentioned that because we're talking about being dads today.
Yeah.
So I'm the father of two wonderful young boys. So my oldest son, Aaron, he's about 6.5 years of age. He was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum around the age of 2.5 or so. It was interesting. We actually had him assessed during COVID, and it was a virtual assessment. And they actually said, he's not showing signs of autism. He most likely will never be diagnosed autistic, but you can have him reassessed, which we did. And, we kind of knew all along, right? So anyway, that was kind of our story with Aaron's diagnosis, which was kind of difficult and whatnot. We also have another son, Evan, who's going to be turning 4 this month. So it's been quite the journey. When I came into my current role, my super fantastic manager, Anne Marie, said, we would like you to work on a special project or something that you're passionate about. And I said, I have just the thing for you. Because when I was a facilitator with Lights for 2 years prior to this role, I was having all these conversations with families. And, we would talk about mom support groups and family support groups. But I thought, something specific for dads and for men, I think it's important just because I think it's difficult to be vulnerable and to kind of put yourself out there. So I really wanted to create something specific for fathers. So I was really happy that I have the opportunity and that we've been
Great.
continuing on with this project.
Great. So your kids are quite young. My daughter's 20 and my son is 17. And Bruce, you're a little further ahead than Tom and I. Do you want to talk about your kids?
Well, being old, makes me further on. Yeah, I mean, my son is 31, but it's 2.5 years now that he's been living independently, and so yeah, it's all, where you hope your kids are going to go to university when they're 18, 19, and see you later. No, it's not how it works for us in this group, and although I take issue with Tom's point about it's hard for dads to be vulnerable and so on, I think the power of a dad's group is for dads to be more informed. Okay, I'm ancient, and I'm not trying to be a stereotypical, 50s dad or something, but the bottom line is my wife made the choice to do most of the child rearing, and therefore she didn't know she had a full-time job at dealing with boards of education and so on with raising the kid. My point is that dads tend then to be only marginally informed. And I think the power of the dads group is there are dads who need more help because this is so traditionally, rightly or wrongly, it's very traditionally the women, and as you mentioned, women's groups and so on. And women are more collegial and more better at seeking out the programs and so on than dads. So I think it's important for dads to have an opportunity to get together to share information that we've picked up over the years.
Yeah. So, which is a great sort of way to start this. Why a dad's group versus just a general get together? Why, Tom, you were sort of interested in this, and then Bruce, you joined. What inspired you to get this started? And then Bruce, what led you to want to get involved? Tom, do you want to?
Yeah, well, like I said, while I was a facilitator with Lights, I would have these conversations with families about planning short-term and long-term for their children event, over the age of 18. And during these conversations, I would kind of think in the back of my mind about my own experience being a father and, just considering what their life experiences were. And I'm thinking, maybe I'll come into these experiences well later on in life. And I just think from a support model, I think it's important when people come together to support each other, to share their experiences, what worked, what hasn't worked. So that's really why I wanted to create this opportunity for people that we support, but also bringing in different people that might not be associated with Community Living Toronto. So allowing them into our community as well.
Great. Bruce, what interested you about the group?
Well, as I said, I'm interested in sharing the fact that one can be successful and achieve the goal of a life for your child. But also I think it's important, I've learned things at the meetings, and I think, if you're fortunate to have a couple situation where there is a dad and a mom, multiple heads are better. For example, in a situation where the mom is in the trenches battling every day, if the dad can pull something from a meeting like a dad's group and say, hey, we haven't thought of that or whatever, brings more to the discussion and maybe brings an overview that wasn't available. Because let's face it, I mean, this is a tough job for whether it's a single dad, a single mom. Frankly, I simply have no idea how they manage. But where there's a couple, the one who is most involved in the day-to-day has trouble taking a step back and having the strategic view. And so it's not a lack of ability or intelligence, it's a lack of time. And so if a dad can get involved, if dad can help, and I find the dads group are motivated to be involved. And so how can we help out that way?
Okay. Now there's always a risk when you sort of start to talk generally about dads this and moms that and all that. So we're talking about sort of what we've seen and perhaps our own experiences, but recognizing, I think, Bruce, you make a good point that different people experience raising a child with a disability differently, and those needs. It's important for all of us to make sure that we're getting some perspective and that we're connected outside so that we can people can keep going. So in terms of the format of the group, Tom, how often do you meet? What do you meet? What do you talk about? Give us some details there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we typically meet twice a month. So I run an afternoon meeting as well as an evening meeting. Our afternoon meetings have been primarily at 20 Spadina, and it looks like our evening meetings might shift to our North York office, just pertaining to where people live and their schedules and whatnot. I'm really trying to be mindful of what's best for people pertaining to, how can they come? And, I want to get as many people out as possible, right? It's fairly informal. The conversations kind of start quite organically, I guess. For example, the last meeting we had a newer dad come. So I found that it was more so about him being able to ask questions, really having the spotlight on him. And then one of the dads that's been coming since the beginning of this, after the meeting, I said, I hope you're still enjoying coming now. And his response was, well, I started coming because I had some potential issues or situations I was working through, but now I want to continue coming to help others, to kind of share my experiences, really support them. So,
yeah,
it's everyone's welcome. There's, if people want to come and then shift away and then come back, that's completely okay.
Okay. Is there a virtual option for people to join at this point?
Not currently. So when
Okay.
I started this, I did start virtual, and I found it to be a tad on the awkward side, and
Okay.
also I found attendance to be kind of dropping off. So I would like to continue in person if possible. And I've also talked to other people that run similar groups, and when I tell them that it's in person, they say, that's fantastic. Keep doing it that way, because they just see the benefit in that as well. But there's pros and cons to either.
Okay. And it could be as simple as coming just to meet some other people. You don't have to come and share your life story and come with a whole bunch of issues. It could just be to connect with some people that are going through a similar journey that everyone else is.
Yeah. And you know what? The meetings, the conversations, they don't even have to be specifically about being a father.
Right.
If people just want to come and talk about what's going on in their own lives and whatnot, and open up and share, because I find that a lot of parents with a child of any age with a disability and working, there's a lot on your plate. You might not have that opportunity for a social outlet. So I think this is a really good way of opening up those social opportunities for people as well.
Yeah.
I just met a dad this week, and I was at a high school developmental disabilities info fair, trying to spread the word about this dad's group. And he was saying, since my son's diagnosis, I've lost, 90% of my network in terms of my social friends, my family. So,
Wow.
For this person, finding a group like this, it's important, right? Because people need people, and, it takes a village, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, excellent. So, Bruce, I gather you and Tom sort of knew each other before you started the group, and you were probably one of the early contacts and early adopters of joining the group. So, what drew you to it, and what's been your experience?
Okay, yes, I confess, Tom and I have a history. Tom was in the Lights group that was instrumental in getting my son an apartment and so on. So, eternally grateful and so on. But in terms of getting involved with this group, I think, and I mentioned earlier, purely sexist, but the women, they network better and they do groups and so on. But every group, everything that you go to, including today, I just picked up a tidbit today, but everything you get to is you pick up a tidbit here and there, and each tidbit is useful. And yeah, my son's 31. I'm still learning stuff, and anything you can get to people sooner, things that I wish I'd known, 10 years ago instead of 5 years ago, this kind of thing. So every time you get together, you can complain about something, but somebody else has been through that already. And so, I mean, I was in business, and my bugbear was always all these business books, right? If you read a 300-page business book, they're mostly terrible, but chances are there's a tidbit in there of truth or of something that can help you. So you read the whole thing, you get one thing that can help you. It's the same with every meeting. It's an hour and 90 minutes of blah, blah. And yet, that was why I came, because I learned that. And so the more meetings we have, as I mentioned before, men don't have a lot of opportunities to meet. Men aren't meeting on a regular basis around this topic. So anything that we can either pick up or give, it's just great to get together. And it's not that often that it's onerous. And I think it's fabulous that Tom's got the afternoon and the evening. Being a retired gentleman, the evening actually is difficult for me. The daytime is fine. Guys who work downtown, the daytime works. In the evening, they don't want to be downtown. So it's really great that that's flexibility. And so anyway, for me, it's just the getting together, sharing of information. I don't get a lot out of a meeting, but you always get something. And it's that accumulation over, as I said, my son's 31 years of little things that give you the power to manage things.
It's an interesting, you make a good point around, so disability, intellectual disability, it tends to be lifelong. And one of the things around community living is it's in our name, and it's in our, sort of the We All Belong campaign that we're starting. There is this piece around community and belonging. And I'm always impressed with so many relationships that last decades that started when, people were, diagnosed with a disability, they got involved with an organization and continued on. Even in my role, I have families that I've known for 25, 30 years throughout their journey. So having those people that you can connect with early, or as early as you can, they can often be relationships that last throughout a lifetime. This piece around a support group and going and talking, and there is a culture right now out there where a lot of male role models are not people that would espouse a man's need to lean on others or to be open and to share. How have you sort of squared those things, or what are your thoughts around the need for this type of group, or if people are kind of feeling a little more stoic and saying, I don't need that, I got this covered. I'll just do my job. I'll pitch in when I can. I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to connect with others that are going on the same journey. Any recommendations for them? Bruce, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yes, this is a man's group. And so it's not a social, I know bugger all about the other guy's kids, but so this is, I think we're more, again, to be sexist, we're just after the solution. What can you tell me that I can use? What do I need? And so, I mean, that's a guy thing, but again, it goes to, we get together to get some information. Yes, to help. I mean, I feel I have some information that I can share, but also, hey, like I said, I learned stuff today. So it doesn't have to be touchy-feely. This isn't effeminate. This isn't a chick group. This is guys getting together. But because we're guys, it's directed and focused. So yeah, we're not talking about what flowers are in bloom. We're actually talking about, well, how did you achieve that? What's the solution? We're men, we go for solutions. So, right. But that doesn't mean you can't use help. I mean, in football, it's a team, and that's a guy metaphor. It's football. it's a team approach. That's all. It's not that, no, we're not a men's group meeting because, gee whiz, we're feeling our empathetic side.
Right.
You may or may not have that. That's not the point. The point is it's a useful sharing as opposed
Right.
to, gee, maybe, you know.
Well, and just to push back a little bit, Bruce, I like tulips, and I like watching the Tulip Festival happening in
Well,
Ottawa now. So
why did I say that? They're in the front yard right now.
I know.
Yeah, of course.
I know.
I get it. Hey,
Okay.
I wore red, by the way. Look at
Yeah.
that. Like the
Yes.
tulip.
Very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
there you go.
Tom, what are your thoughts around that? And then we'll wrap things up.
Yeah, so I've had some phone calls with dads that reach out interested in this group, and there's almost a sense of unspoken desperation in their voices. So I think that for some people along their journey, they get to a certain point where they really need something like this. They're kind of at a crossroads where, they continue going down their path and it might be very difficult and they might not want to talk to people about what they're going through. But for them to have this opportunity to connect with others, to share, to find out possible solutions, I think it really is life changing in a positive way for them.
Good.
Just based on my conversations and my experiences with those who've reached out.
Right. And I think it's worth, you mentioned the time of these groups and locations. I don't want people to fast forward and say, well, that doesn't work for me, so I can't go or I can't be involved. Tom, I'm assuming that people can reach out to you and connect and have those kind of conversations. And because
Yeah.
it sounds like you're very much driven by what the needs of the group is to try and figure out what
Yeah,
works best for people.
and I tell people that I talk to about this group that if there's a strong need in in Scarborough, as an example, I'm absolutely willing to start hosting meetings in Scarborough, right? Really depends on what the numbers look like, what people want in terms of time, location,
Right.
availability, and so forth. So
Great.
this is fluid. It can change depending on the group.
Great. Thank you both for taking the time and for your willingness to sort of share and be open, giving a good example of what I think many dads need to aspire to, is to be a little, open, connected, and vulnerable with each other, for sure. I noted as we were doing this that Mother's Day is coming up. So it's a little counterintuitive that we're doing a dad's group discussion the week before Mother's Day. But we do have a mother's group, a group for moms as well, that is, and information is available on our website. So we'll put that information out there as well. Tom, Bruce, thanks again. Appreciate your time
Thank
and your
you.
vulnerability. And Petronella, we'll turn it back to you.
Thank you so much. People need people. It takes a village to achieve whatever you want to do, and it's important to connect and belong. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much, Bruce, for sharing your experiences and your journey. And thank you, Brad, for facilitating the conversation. Great engagement in the chat, by the way. Lots of comments, people commenting how they've enjoyed this conversation. We appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much. Whilst on the topic of important to connect and belong, it takes us to our last but not least item we have for you today. We are indeed excited to talk about our new campaign called We All Belong. As Brad mentioned earlier on, you can see our backgrounds. They are all written, We All Belong. We are launching our We All Belong campaign in recognition of Community Living Month. We All Belong celebrates inclusion for people with intellectual disabilities. And with this campaign, we aim to recognize the ongoing work of creating inclusive communities, celebrate people, places, and moments that reflect belonging and inclusion, and inspire others to recognize and foster belonging wherever they are. You can join us in our efforts in several ways on how you can participate. I'm going to call my colleague, Atam Perederi, who's our digital media specialist. He's going to let us know how you can participate and promote and support our campaign, We All Belong. Atam, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Petronella. So, as mentioned before, last Thursday on May 1st, we have launched our We All Belong campaign. And although the campaign will run throughout the month of May, so the Community Living Month, we encourage everyone to join us on social media on May 15th, which is our main campaign day. And you can do so in a few easy steps. We encourage you to take a photo of yourself at a space or with someone who makes you feel seen, valued, and included. And this can be your family member, a friend of yours, a caregiver, a colleague, and again, at different places. So maybe there is a local coffee shop that you like to go to every day, or a community center that supports our cause. The idea is to celebrate the people, the places, and everyday moments that make us feel like we belong. And then on May 15th, we encourage you to post it on social media with a short message. And please don't forget to use hashtag We All Belong. This way, we may go trending. The more posts we have using this hashtag, the higher is the chance of the hashtag being trending. And this will mean for us that we will be able to reach more people and spread more awareness. And we would also like you to add the tag CL Toronto, so it makes it easier for us to find your post and then reshare it to our corporate Community Living Toronto pages, so the rest of the community can see it. And if you need any inspiration, we have the campaign toolkit ready for you. It has the message ideas, it has sample posts, virtual backgrounds. I'm actually, and Patty is also using those right now, and you can download those on our campaign microsite, which is actually another way for you to participate if you don't have social media. And right now, let us stop the slide share, and I will share my screen to show you the microsite. And I'm pretty sure the link to the microsite will be in the chat shortly. Kindly let me know if you can see the screen. Okay, that's
Yes,
good.
we can see it. Thank you.
Okay, so on your screens, you can see our We All Belong campaign microsite. I'm gonna go through it fairly quickly. At the start, we have an About the Campaign section, and right here, there is a button for you to download the campaign toolkit. I'm not gonna focus on it too much, but I'm gonna quickly show you that we have quite a few key messages and social media messages that you can utilize as some sort of inspiration. And then all the way at the bottom, we have all the different graphics that you can use on your social media channels, from promotional graphics to participation visuals, as well as the virtual backgrounds. Okay, but if you don't have social media, this is the reason why we created the microsite, basically the hub for this campaign. If you don't have social media, you can still participate online through this microsite. So what we encourage you to do is in the Participate Today section, we actually have the form for you to participate, to submit your photo that we will post on our corporate social media pages on your behalf. And it's, again, fairly quickly. You just fill out some of your details. You put your name, email, maybe an organization that you belong to, and then you choose the file that you want to upload, a photo, and make sure to tick this box, which gives us consent to use your photos that you send our way on our website, social media, and other communications. And you just click send. The other thing that you can do if you're feeling camera shy and you don't want to share the photo, there is also an option for you if you click here to submit your word. And the campaign is also revolving around this one central prompt that we have, which is if in one word you were asked to describe your vision for a world where everyone belongs, what would that word be? And again, you just fill out the form with your name, email address, and just one word that in your opinion best describes your vision for a world where everyone belongs, and you send it our way and we'll use it going forward. And I think it's important to note that the microsite is optimized for both desktop computer versions as well as phone browsers. So that actually makes it even easier for you to participate. So you basically take a photo using one device, using your phone, and then with the same phone, you go to our microsite and you upload it in there. And we will get it. We will collect those photos. You may ask why. The reason is we will be displaying those photos again on our social media, as well as in the photo gallery of the microsite that we have here. And you can already see that we got some of the photos submitted already. And then for the word, we will be displaying the belonging word cloud that has all the words that were collected so far, and we will be updating this every day. So if you submit a photo, we'll make sure that it appears in this belonging word cloud. And then again, at the bottom, we have the FAQ page. In case if you have any questions, you can see if we have some of the answers here. And if we don't, you can always reach out to us directly via email. And I'm gonna stop the screen share right here. Just 1 second. Okay, and these were the two ways that you can participate in this We All Belong campaign online. But make sure to check out our toolkit because we have more ways to participate in the campaign offline. So yes, make sure to check that out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Atam. And if you have any problems downloading anything, you can also reach us by phone. We are readily available to assist you in any way we can. We look forward to all of us celebrating people, as Atam said, celebrating places wherever you feel you belong. We want to hear from you. So please do join us all of this month as we celebrate We All Belong campaign. We come together to champion inclusion and celebrate the diversity that strengthens us all. Thank you so much, Atam, for that presentation, and to the whole team for putting the campaign together. And if you have any story and if you'd like to share anything, please feel free to reach out to Minal Nanda, our internal communications manager and policy. I'm sure, Minal, you put your details shortly in the chat, so please feel free to reach out to me now. As we come to an end, my sincerest thanks to all our presenters. It was a pleasure to have you with us and to hear all the updates this afternoon. And special thanks again to Bruce and Tom for joining us this afternoon. And thank you to our audience for spending their time with us, and to Brad for facilitating our Community Unplugged session. Our next family and friends update is going to take place in June. We will share registration details closer to the date. And as we continue with celebrations for Community Living Month, let us keep sharing stories, raising awareness, and reaffirming that we all belong. We are grateful for your continued support and your partnership in fostering more inclusive communities. Also, stay tuned for our Community Chats podcast released on the 15th and 30th of every month, where we continue to bring stories and insights from the community. And you will be joined by some special guests this month. So please do join us. Let us remember to make a difference. Let us continue building a society where everyone belongs and is truly valued. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and have a great afternoon, everyone.